혼자 있는 고양이 제니예요. 오늘은 해리포터 2권 챕터 16 The Chamber of Secrets 시작해보도록 할게요. 냐옹! Chapter 16 The Chamber of Secrets. All those time in the bathroom, and she was just 3 toilets away, said Ron bitterly at breakfast next day. And we could have asked her, and now it had been hard enough trying to look for spiders. Escaping their teachers long enough to sneak into a girl's bathroom. The bears moreover, right next to the scene of the first attack, was going to be almost impossible. But something happened in the first lesson, Transfiguration, which drove the Chamber of Secrets out of their minds for the first time in weeks. 10 minutes into the class, Professor McGonagall told them that their exams will start on the 1st of June, 1 week from today. Exams! Howled Seamus Ferguson. We're still getting exams? There was a loud bang behind Harry as Neville Longbottom's wand slipped, vanishing one of the legs of his desk. Professor McGonagall restored with a wave of her wand and turned frowning to Seamus. The whole point of keeping the school open at this time is for you to receive your education, she said, turning. The exams will therefore take place as usual, and I trust you're all revising hard. Revising hard? It had never occurred to Harry that there would be exams with the castle in this state. There was a great deal of neutral and muttering around the room, which made Professor McGonagall scowl even more darkly. Professor Dumbledore's instructions were to keep the school running as normally as possible, she said, and that, I need hardly point out, means finding out how much you have learned this year. Harry looked down at the pair of white rabbit suits she was up to turn into slippers. What had he learned so far this year? He couldn't seem to think of anything to be useful in exam. Ron looked as though he'd been told that he had to go live in the Forbidden Forest. Can you imagine me taking exams with this? He asked Harry, holding up his wand. Richard started whistling loudly. 3 days before their first exam, Professor McGonagall made another mouse move with breakfast. I have good news, she said, and the great hall, instead of falling silent, erupted. Dumbledore's coming back, several people yelled joyfully. You've caught Harry Slytherin, shrieked the girl on the Ravenclaw table. Cricket matches are back on, roared Wood excitedly. When the hubbub had subsided, Professor McGonagall said, Professor Sprout has informed me that the mandrakes are ready for cutting at last. Tonight, we will be able to revive those people who have been petrified. I need hardly remind you all that one of them may well be able to tell us who or what attacked them. I am hopeful that this time dreadful year will end with our catching the culprit. There was an explosion of cheering. Harry looked over at the Slytherin table and wasn't at all surprised to see that Draco Malfoy hadn't joined in. Ron, however, was looking happier than he looked in days. It won't matter with Miss Myrtle then, he said to Harry. Hermione will probably have all the answers when you take her up. Mind you, she'll get mad when she finds some exams in 3 days' time. She hasn't revised, but kind of to review, she is still a verber. Just then, Ginny Weasley came over and sat down next to Ron. She looked tense and nervous, and Harry noticed that her hands were twisting in her lap. "What's up?" said Ron, helping himself with more courage. Ginny didn't say anything, but glanced up and down at the Gryffindor table, with a scared look on her face. That reminded Harry someone. They'll get him through. "Spit it out," said Ron, watching her. Harry suddenly realized who Ginny looked like. She was rocking backwards and forwards slightly in chair, exactly like Dobby did when he was teetering on the edge of revealing forbidden information. "I've got to tell you something," Ginny mumbled, carefully not looking at Harry. "What is it?" said Harry. Ginny looked as though she couldn't find the right words. "What?" said Ron. Ginny opened her mouth. No sound came out. Harry leaned forward and spoke quietly so that only Ginny and Ron could hear him. "It's something about Chamber of Secrets. Have you seen something? Someone acting oddly?" Ginny drew a deep breath, and at that precise moment, Percy Weasley appeared, looking tired and wan. "If you finish eating, I'll take this in a minute. I'm starving. I just coming for patrol duty." Ginny jumped up as though her chair had just been electrified, gave Percy a pleading, frightened look, and scampered away. Percy sat down and grabbed a mug from the chamber of the table. "Percy!" said Ron angrily. "She was just about to tell us something important." Halfway through a gulp of tea, Percy choked. "What sort of thing?" he said, coughing. "I just asked her if she's seen anything odd, and she started to say—" "Oh, that nothing to do with the Chamber of Secrets," said Percy at once. "How do you know?" said Ron, his eyebrows raised. "Well, if you must know, Ginny, walked in the room the other way when I was, well, never mind. The point is she spotted me doing something, and I asked her not to mention it to everybody. I must say I did she kept her word. But nothing really, I just rather..." Harry had never seen Percy look so uncomfortable. "What are you doing, Percy?" said Ron, grinning. "Go on, tell us. We won't laugh." Percy didn't smile back. "Pass me the roll, Harry. I'm starving." Harry knew the whole mystery might be solved tomorrow without their help, but it wasn't about to pass up the chance to speak of Myrtle if it turned up, and to his delight it did, mid-morning, when they were being led to History and Magic by Gilderoy Lockhart. Lockhart, who had so often assured them that all danger had passed, only to be proved to run straight away, was now wholeheartedly convinced that it was hardly worth the trouble to see himself lead down the corridors. His hair wasn't as thick as usual. It seemed he had been up most of the night, patrolling the 4th floor. "Mark my words," he said, ushering them around the corridor. "The first word out of their poor petrified people's mouth will be, 'It was Hagrid.' Frankly, I'm starving. The first thing McGonagall thinks is security measures are necessary." "I agree, sir," said Harry, making Ron drop his books in surprise. "Thank you, Harry," said Lockhart graciously, while they waited for Longline and Hufflepuff to pass. "I mean, we teachers have quite enough to be beginning with, without walking students to classes and standing guard all night." "That's right," said Ron, catching on. "Why don't you read us here, sir? We're only got one corridor to go." "You know, Weasley, I think I will," said Lockhart. "I really should go and prepare my next class." And he hurried off. "Prepare his class," Ron sneered after him. "Got to curl his hair all like." Let the rest of the Gryffindors drawing her head at them, then darting down the side passage and hurried off towards Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. But just as they were congratulating each other on their brilliant scheme, "Potter Weasley, what are you doing?" It was Professor McGonagall, and her mouths were the thinnest of thin lines. We were, Laura stammered. We were going to go and see Hermione, said Harry. Ron and Professor McGonagall both looked at him. We haven't seen them in ages, Professor, Harry went on hurriedly, treading on Ron's foot. And with this, hurry to the hospital wing, and tell the Menders are really ready, and, not to worry. Professor McGonagall was still staring at him, and for a moment, Harry thought she was going to explode. But when she spoke, it was in a strangely croaky voice. Of course, she said, and Harry, amazed, saw a tear glistening on her beady eye. Of course, I realized this was all being hardest on the friends of those who have been. I quite understand. Yes, Potter, of course you may visit Miss Granger. I will inform Professor Binns when I come. Tell Madame Pomfrey I have given my permission. Harry and Ron walked away, hardly daring to believe that they would avoid detention. As they turned the corner, they distinctly heard Professor McGonagall blow her nose. 재미있게 들으셨다면 구독과 좋아요 꾹꾹 눌러주시고 다음 영상에서 만나요. 안녕!